Show me the steal. A YouTube analysis by Stephen H. Johnson. An ex-cab driver digs into the numbers, applies some realism, and brings back the story. Was there a steal? Why wasn't it stopped? How might it have worked? Were millions of unregistered voters allowed to cast ballots? Let's take the first 26 states. Let's compare the registered voter numbers with the votes cast numbers. Of the first 26, 24 of them show registration totals that are significantly higher than their vote totals. Maine's an exception. Its total votes cast number is slightly higher than its voters registered number. And Mississippi's a bit of a mystery because it didn't seem to have published any sort of registered voter number. Well, let's see. Last 25. Any sign that millions of unregistered voters flocked to the polls? Not really. Two small curiosities. North Dakota doesn't have a voter registration system. Just show up, prove you live in North Dakota, you can vote. Only in Wyoming do we see total votes cast exceeding total voters registered. Wasn't much to see, was there? Here's the red state, blue state overview of how the November election played out. 25 red states won by Trump, 25 blue states plus D.C. won by Biden. Before we look at the state-by-state votes, let's tweak the Nebraska and Maine vote counts. Nebraska gives each congressional district one electoral vote, plus it awards 2 votes to the statewide winner. Trump carried 2 districts and the state, so Trump got 2 electoral votes from the whole state and 2 more from the 2 congressional districts he won. Biden carried 1 district and earned 1 Nebraska vote. Maine uses the same system, but Maine has only 2 congressional districts. Biden won the state and won 1 district for a total of 3 electoral votes. Trump won 1 district and took Maine's other electoral vote. But to simplify the red state, blue state tables that follow, I will show Trump winning all 5 of Nebraska's electoral votes, and I will show Biden winning all 4 of Maine's electoral votes. In other words, I'm hiding Nebraska's Biden vote in Maine's column, and I'm tucking Maine's Trump vote in Nebraska's column. First, the 25 states Trump won. Note his total count, 36 million plus versus 28 million to Biden, for a Trump margin of 8 million. And in the black column, a bit over 1 million votes for third-party and write-in candidates. Electoral votes won by Trump in the last column, 232 in all. Only 7 of the 25 states won by Trump were large enough to give him double-digit electoral vote totals. Now to the 25 states that Biden carried. Start with the blue column, the vote totals for Biden. He won more than 53 million votes in these states. Shift to the red column, the Trump column. Trump won only 38 million votes in these states, for a Biden margin of 15 million. The black column shows third-party and write-in votes numbering more than 1.8 million. Now to the final blue column, the electoral vote column. Mr. Biden's victory in these 25 states plus D.C. gave him 306 electoral votes. Note that the double-digit vote count for Biden hit 14 states versus the 7 double-digit count that went to Trump. Now let's add these totals together. In the 25 states Trump won, he beat Biden by a margin of only 8 million votes. In the 25 states Biden won, plus D.C., he beat Trump by a margin of 15 million votes. In other words, Trump got whipped. So who really stole the election from Mr. Trump? Start with the authors of the Constitution. Their rules provide that an elected president serves for a term of 4 years. In other words, Trump's term of office from his 2016 win automatically expired on January 20th, 2021, precisely 4 years after his inauguration. To have continued serving after that date, Trump would need to have won an electoral vote majority in last year's election. But it was Biden, not Trump, who won 2020's electoral vote majority by a whopping number. So who's to blame? Has to be the voters who gave those 306 electoral votes to Mr. Biden. Gosh darn those voters. Why didn't Mr. Trump know this? Hey, the U.S. Constitution has lots of words, 7,503 in fact, and Mr. Trump hates reading long documents. So, most likely, he's never read the U.S. Constitution, at least not start to finish. Instead, he seems to have been operating from an imaginary constitution in which he'd be allowed to do as he liked. For example, like stay in the White House as president past January 20th, even though the other guy had just been elected to the next 4-year term. But his fantasy didn't work, which is why he behaved so badly once he saw the writing on the wall. He pretended there was a steal and denounced it. He filed lawsuits, lots and lots of lawsuits. He phoned state election officials and pressured them to reverse their results. And he instigated a violent riot at the Capitol, hoping his rioters would terrorize the Congress into canceling Biden's win and illegally keeping Trump on as president. Trump's real problem is plainly that he's obsessed with becoming America's president for life, i.e., America's first dictator. In other words, there is no nice way to put this, he's mentally ill. How else is one to explain his conduct? In his manic obsessiveness, he sued and sued. According to Wikipedia, his lawyers brought at least 86 post-election lawsuits on Trump's behalf. All but one were instantly thrown out, and the one momentarily successful lawsuit got reversed on appeal. He phoned Georgia's Secretary of State. Add 11,780 votes to my total, he barked. Here's the account from Rolling Stone. The United States Soros loser, soon-to-be ex-president Donald Trump, threatened Georgia's Secretary of State in an attempt to badger him to find the votes that would overturn the state's presidential election results. In the call, audio of which was obtained by the Washington Post, Trump told Georgia's Republican Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, that he was taking a big risk by refusing to cooperate in falsifying verified election results that showed Biden winning by 11,779 votes. The people of Georgia are angry. The people in the country are angry, Trump said, and there's nothing wrong with saying, that you've recalculated. Trump also told Raffensperger and his general counsel, I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state. Then he had another bright idea. Maybe Congress could refuse to certify the election results. How do I get them to do that? Idea. Mobilize a Stop the Steal rally. Theory. If members of Congress don't want my January 6th Stop the Steal mob to string them up, they'll throw out Biden's win and give the election to me. Result. Congress ignored Trump's January 6 rioters. Small problem number one. The U.S. Constitution requires Congress to certify the winner of the electoral vote as America's next president. And Biden was the electoral vote winner, not Trump. So Biden got certified. Small problem number two. The Capitol Police protected Congress from the rioters. Time to face facts, Mr. Trump. You lost the popular vote. Mr. Biden got 81 million votes. You got only 74 million. You lost the electoral vote. Biden carried 25 states in D.C. and won 306 electoral votes. From the 25 states you carried, you won just 232 electoral votes. Then you told your lie about a steal. Let's face facts. Here's what really happened. America's voters sent you a message, one they knew you would instantly recognize. You're fired.